and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be using a ton of new products that I've never used before, including the new Colourpop Superstar Loose Eyeshadow Pigments. I'm super excited. I got the shade Weekend and Cameo. So one of them is like a champagne kind of color. You can't see it, but and then the other one is like a shimmery coral. This one's kind of open, so you have to be very careful. But I'm so excited to use these guys. These guys just came out, and I got a few new Colourpop lippies that I've never tried. I used to have a few of their mattes, but I have never tried a blotted lip before or their glosses. So I got these guys, and I'm going to be trying the L'Oreal Infallible Stick Foundation, Longwear Shaping Stick Foundation. So this hasn't even launched in the US. I found it on a website that was selling to the US, but it's available in like the UK, Australia, everywhere else, but it's not here yet. But I ordered it through a like third-party seller just so I could try it. So I'm not sure when it's coming or if it's coming to the US, but I thought we would try it out because we don't have very good drugstore stick foundations on the market at the moment, so this could be a winner. So I'm super excited to try all this out. I also got some single shadows by Colourpop in really fun springy colors. So this is like a purple, a yellow, a coral. So I thought we would just do something fun and colorful and springy because today is actually the first day of spring. I'm wearing yellow. We got spring going on in the back. So if you want to stick around and see what look I come up with, then just keep on watching. For primer, I'm going to start with the Bobbi Brown Illuminating Moisture Balm. So it's technically not like a primer, it's more of a moisturizer. So I'm going to put this guy on first, and it's a little trial that I got in the Sephora Play Box. So I'm going to use this first all over my face, kind of as my moisturizer, and then just put primer where I need it. It smells real good. And for primer, I'm not using anything new. I'm just going to use the Professional Pearl and put this where I need it. So for the foundation, I am in the shade 100 Ivory. I think I got the lightest one, so it might be too light for me because I have a little bit of a self-tan happening on my body, not my face, so it'll probably match my face. Yes, it does. So I'm just going to draw this on and then blend it out with the Beauty Blender. It feels super creamy, and I haven't tried it yet, so it's been sitting in my drawers for a very long time because I've been too tan to wear it. I'm just using the Sonia Kashuk blending sponge, and I like this just as much as the Beauty Blender, and I think this was like $7. Oh, and then the foundation I believe was like maybe like $12, but then once I had like the international shipping and everything, it ended up being closer to 20 something. So don't recommend doing it like that. So it's not blending as easy as I would expect it to. It's kind of picking and grabbing and dragging a little bit. It's also just a little light. I feel like it covered absolutely nothing. So I'm just going to put a second layer. It feels like a stick sunscreen when you're putting it on. I think I'm going to try it with a brush and see if that gives us more coverage. This is a Morphe like stippling foundation brush, and I'm just going to pat it in to hopefully get more coverage. Yeah, you definitely get more coverage with a brush, but it's also kind of looking heavy now. Like, it's not sitting very well on my face. And there's brush strokes literally everywhere. Okay, it is not wanting to stick on my nose. I do not know what's happening. I'm going to go back in with the sponge to kind of get rid of all the marks because I have brush streaks like everywhere. So I just sprayed it with the Fix Plus, and I'm going to try to get rid of all these lines. Okay, I feel like it really emphasized my pores, which doesn't make any sense because I used the Professional before it, but whatever. So maybe once this kind of sits on my face for a while, it'll look better, but right now it just looks like I'm wearing a lot of foundation. So for concealer, I've got nothing new, so I'm just going to throw the Shape Tape on and then we'll move on to the rest of the face. So I went ahead and set the concealer underneath my eyes, and now I'm just setting certain places on my face where I like tend to crease. So around my mouth and nose area, and then a little bit on the chin. And then I'm going to put a little bit where we will be putting more powder products. Right now I'm not really liking how it's looking on this portion of my face where I have like my biggest pores. It's just looks like a ton of makeup just hanging out in there. So what I sometimes do to fix that is I pack on translucent powder like to fill in the pores, which is probably really bad for your skin, but it works really well when you use the Patrick Star by MAC powder and on a sponge, and you just kind of like press it in there. So I'm going to do that to kind of maybe fix that area, because right now it doesn't look too good. We're just going to leave the foundation like that right now because I'm not loving it, but hopefully when it sits there for a while, maybe it'll like start to look better, but right now, not a fan. I don't have any new bronzer or blush, but I do have a new highlight, and it's the In Nude and No palette by Colourpop, and you've probably seen this everywhere, and I'm very excited. Haven't tried this yet. I've only swatched 3 of them. So I'm just going to bronze really fast, and I'm just going to use the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula on my Morphe brush from the Face Complexion Gold set. I don't really like contour anymore, but I do use this bronzer by Colourpop. It's the shade Afternoon Delight, and I just take... And I just take a smaller brush, more of like an angle or anything that's smaller than my bronzer brush, and I just take a tiny bit of it and I just kind of blend it in with my bronzer, but keeping it a little lower and not covering all this area with the darker shade. And that's kind of like my contour, but I don't do like a straight line and all that jazz. For blush, I'm going to use Mango Pink by Pulse Cosmetics, and I talk about their blushes all the time. This is one of my favorites. It's just like a bright pink, and you have to be very careful because a little goes a long way. And I tried the Anastasia blush kits, and honestly I like this one better than all 4 shades in that palette, so I will be sticking to this guy, and I believe it's like $12 or $10 maybe. Now for the highlight. I'm not sure exactly which color I'm going to use, but we do know that these two are probably too dark to use as highlights on me, but this palette is very versatile for people with tons of different skin tones because of these darker shades. Let's see how light this one is. So that's the lightest shade in the palette, so it's pretty light, but if you were like super duper fair, it might look a little yellow on you. Oh, and then that's the darkest shade, so it's more of like a copper color, so you could maybe mix that in with your bronzer to do like a glowy bronzer if you were like a little bit tan. But I'm going to mix, I think, Fine Line and Glad You Came. And is it just me, or does this palette look a lot like the new Bretman palette with Morphe? I'm just saying. The shades are like pretty similar. Ooh. I'm going to use a little more of the lighter shade than the darker, just to intensify on the very highest point right here. And then I'm going to use just the lighter shade on the rest of my face. So it's not like a natural glow kind of highlight. To me, it looks more of like a metallic sheen kind of highlight, if you like that kind of thing. I like all kinds of highlights, so this is really pretty, but it's definitely not like skin-like, if that makes sense. So I'm going to spray my face to kind of melt all the powders in using the MAC Fix Plus. And while the spray is still drying and my face is still damp, I take the beauty sponge and I pat in the highlight to kind of make it melt more into the skin, which would make it not look like it's just sitting on top of your face. yeah, it looks way better after you do that. Okay, I don't know if you can tell, but the foundation is doing really weird things, and like over here, all of my powders on top are like breaking up, and then over here, there's like a really weird patch. So I don't know if it's like the moisture balm thing I put on beforehand, or the foundation, or if it's just my face. But right now, I am not liking this so far. So we're just gonna move on to the eyes. And so I have concealer on my eyelids from earlier, so I'm just gonna blend this out and then set it down with a bone colored shade. And I just got the shade Hear Me Out by Colourpop, and it's just like a matte bone creamy kind of color. And I'm just gonna use this big old packing brush by Morphe and just put this all over the lid all the way up to the brow bone. I really like this. This is a really good shade to have like in your collection, and I've noticed a lot of the time with the Colourpop palettes that they're missing a matte light cream kind of shade, so that's why I got that, because you kind of always need that. So that's a really good guide. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but I'm going to swatch both of these loose pigments that just released. They have like about maybe 10 shades or so, and they have really fun ones like green and purple, but I just got pretty safe colors, so I'm going to show you. This one is the shade Weekend. You kind of have to be careful because once you take the seal off, all of the powder starts to hang out in the lid, so if you like accidentally opened it upside down, you would lose like $5. Okay, so here is, I don't think you can even see it. Weekend is right here, and it's very sheer, like there's not a very much of a pigment to it, it's just like the sparkles itself. So that would look really pretty like dabbed on top of like any eyeshadow color to add sparkle to it without altering the color. And then this one is called Cameo, and this one's really pretty, and I watched this on my Instagram stories and everybody was like freaking out over it. So it's right here, and it's a coral kind of color with gold shimmers all throughout of it, so that guy's very pretty. I'll probably use him somewhere on the eyelid, but as for the rest of the shades, I have no idea what I'm doing. I would like to throw this purple in there because it's fun, and I never do color, but I also, because I never do color, I don't know how to do it. So we'll see where I end up putting the fun colors. But for now, I'm going to start with just like a transitional brown shade, and I'm going to use this guy from the Dream Street palette, and it's just like a neutral middle tone brown. And I'm going to use just this fluffy brush by Morphe and put this all throughout the crease and the outer corner. And to help blend everything out a little better, I'm using this big old blending brush by Morphe, the M533. And this guy just really helps to diffuse all your lines because it covers a lot of area at once. So I really like this brush. Okay. Just to warm that up a little bit, I'm going to use this shade, the next one over, called Magical, from the same palette, and just kind of wash this all over everything we just did. Okay, next I think I'm going to add this coral shade to the crease, and I can't look at the name because it's not on the back, it's on the actual pan itself. So I will have to look it up and write it in the description box because I can't read it. So I'm going to use the first Morphe brush that we used and just add this to the crease with the both of the browns. And then again going in with the bigger fluffy brush with a little bit more of it and continuing to blend. To deepen things up a bit, I'm going to mix these two orange and red shades from the Dream Street palette, which is Potion and Spark. And I'm going to take a smaller brush and just place this color on the outer corner and start to blend it in, but not taking it all the way through the crease like we have been doing. And then going in with the Morphe R35 and more of the coral shade, we're gonna start to blend this outer corner color in towards the crease, but not completely over like we just did. Okay, now we're gonna add some brown to the outer corner so it's not just like completely pink. And for that, I'm just gonna use the brown in this same palette, and it is the shade Elfish on the R35 again. And then to blend it out, I'm gonna go back in with the shade Potion. Okay, that's pretty much all I'm going to do for the crease and outer corner. Now let's move on to the lid. So I'm going to use the corally shade in the shade Cameo. And I'm thinking I should probably put something down on my lid before I put it on. Because it's pretty finely milled and loose. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of the Shape Tape on my lid with a concealer brush and kind of do like a half cut crease situation, and then put the fairy dust on the lid. And then I'm just going to flip the brush over. Oh, and this is just by Sephora, and it's just like a flat concealer brush. Anything like that will work. So I'm just going to flip the brush over and pick up some of the loose shadow and just pack this on where we put the concealer. So it's not showing up like as vibrant as I would like it to, so I'm going to put more on the brush and then dampen it and see if that works better. I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to use these. I probably should have looked it up, but yeah, it definitely looks better with a damp brush than just going in with it dry. So this is what we're cooking with. I might go in with the other shade like on the very center to like really brighten it, because right now it's like not too much of a difference between the lid shade and the crease shade, but it's fine, but it wasn't exactly what we were going for. So I'm just going to do the other eye. So I'm going to do it exactly how I did the other one. So I'm going to first use it dry on the wet concealer and then go back in with the pigment damp. Okay, and then we're going to go in with the shade Weekend, which is like the lighter champagne kind of color. That doesn't want to come out. And I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this and use it damp, because they seem to work better like that. And just place this on like the very center of the eyelid. Oh. Do you see that? When the two colors are mixed, it's like a pinky gold duochrome, and it looks real pretty. There you go. I think that's how I'm just going to leave the upper shadow, and we're going to move on to the lower lash line. And I'm going to start with the shade Tiki, which is just a yellow, on a pencil brush, and just run this on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to use the coral shade that we used in the crease and just do the same exact thing. And then to deepen it up a little bit, I'm going to use a mix between the two orange and reds that we used from the Dream Street palette and keep it pretty close to the lower lash line. Like so. And I'm thinking I'm going to put the yellow on the inner corner just to jazz it up, because that freaks me out, but it's also something I never would do and I might like it. So we might do that, but for now I'm just going to do liner and mascara. For eyeliner, I'm going to use the Stila Stay All Day waterproof pen situation. I've never used this before, but this was a trial size that came in the play box, so I'm just going to do a really thin line, and we aren't doing a wing. And then for mascara, I'm using the Benefit Bad Gal Bang mascara, and they actually gave this to me in a giveaway. I am so shocked that I actually won one. I could have sworn that like no one actually wins giveaways, because they happen all the time, and then like you never win one, but you enter all of them. So I actually won, and I got 3 Benefit mascaras, and I haven't tried any of them. The Roller Lash, They Are Real, and this guy. I've been using this a few times, and the wand is very flexible, like it moves with you, like it bends a lot, and it touches your eyelid like the whole time while you're putting mascara on, so you kind of have to be careful. And the formula is very watery until it completely dries down, so like once you put it on, like don't move, because I get it literally everywhere. But as for like how it works, it does make your lashes really long. It doesn't voluminize in my opinion, but whatever. Okay, I went ahead and put mascara on the other eye and did my eyebrows off camera, because nothing new has changed there. Same old, same old. If you want to see how I do my eyebrows, I have a video on it, and I will put it in the description box. So for the inner corner, I think I'm going to use the yellow, because I've seen other people do it and it looks really cool, so why not, am I right? So I'm just going to use a pencil brush and just pack the yellow on the inner corner and see what happens. I like it. I really wanted to use this purple, but I don't know where I would put it, and I don't want it to just start looking like the rainbow. So I think we'll save this guy for another day. And now that the eyes are done, I'm going to add a little more blush and bronzer just to kind of balance out all of the color that we have going on. And then for lips, I have these 3 options, and like literally every single one would work. So I think I'm going to use this guy because I haven't used a bright coral in a while, and this is the shade Double Scoop, and it's the Ultra Blotted Lip, which is supposed to be more of like a lip tint situation. It's not supposed to be like a full coverage, completely like opaque color. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't worn them, but I've seen like other people wear them, and I've seen them swatched and stuff. So let's just try it. but I do think it dries down completely matte. So it basically just feels like a more lightweight version of the matte lipsticks. So if that's the case, then they'll be a little more comfortable to wear. But they're not completely full coverage, and you can still kind of see my lips like through it. So I don't know how I feel about that. But once this dries, I'm going to put the lip gloss in the shade Verbatim on top. And this is just like a pinky gold, super glittery lip gloss. And I'm just going to put that like in the very center to kind of tie the glitter that we have going on the lid with the lips. To set my face, I'm going to try the Defense Refresh Setting Mist by Supergoop with an SPF of 50. I've kind of heard of this brand. It's sold at Sephora, and they have like long-lasting, like super long-lasting products that like aren't supposed to budge no matter what happens to them. So we will see how this guy works. I'll let you know in the description if it keeps my makeup on forever. But I got this in the play box, and I've never used it. Oh. Oh my. Okay, I do not like the mist. Okay, yeah, do not like that. It doesn't even, like, I don't know if you can see it, but it's like little dots that don't go anywhere. So I'm not using that, and it smells like toothpaste, so I don't think I'm gonna use that. It like got all over my contacts. Okay, girl, this is the completed look. My super springy, bright, colorful look. Something that's a little bit different for me. I know it still looks like bronze and gold, which is what I always do, but I'm trying to use more color. And I really like how the yellow ended up on the inner corner, and I really like the lipstick, and it feels like literally nothing on, so I really like that. Foundation, it's not the worst, but it's not the best. I was really hoping to like love it and it'd be like amazing, but it's just like it's there, it works. It's not settling into my smile lines as bad as a lot of foundations, which is a plus, but I just don't like the way that it like sits on my face. So I'll have to keep trying that and see how I feel about it. But all the Colourpop shadows were great. They're like one of my favorite eyeshadow brands. I hadn't used like the singles, but they're the exact same that are in the palettes, and they're all real good. Yes, girl. That's pretty much all I have for you. It's currently snowing outside, and it's the first day of spring, and I'm wearing yellow eyeshadow. But it's fine, okay? Oh, I have lipstick on my teeth. Wonderful. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know down below what you want to see next. And I got a bunch of new stuff, like springy clothing, so if you want to see like a spring/summer haul, it's a lot more colorful than the last haul I did. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comments, and I will do that next. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!